gents? Welcome to TSG Uncut. I am your host, Sean C. And in today's live stream, we are going to talk about modern women wanting high-value men, but most don't qualify. But in that title, there's another aspect of it that we're going to talk about. Listen, do me a favor right quick. If you come in here, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Yes, I'm telling you right now that the videos I've been doing lately have been hotter than fish grease in July, okay? And we are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. We have less than 200 subs to go before we hit that magical 10K mark. And I'm going to tell you, I couldn't have done it without my gents. So I have some video clips today. I do not have any comments of the day or memes of the day because I want to be able to talk about the videos. I'm also at some point going to drop the link to the StreamYard down in the comments for my gents who are regulars here, want to come up. Obviously, make sure you're going to be respectful, all that stuff. I'll bring that up when we get to that part. But this is after we get through the videos. So I'm probably going to run through some of these videos. Let them play through. Normally I talk through some of them. It's usually because I like to get my thoughts out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, try to get through these videos in an expeditious manner to allow some time for us to be able to talk one-on-one about this subject. Now, where we at? So when I came up with today's topic, I actually, I've been very, very efficient over here, right? So I have been doing better with planning stuff out, right? I broke out and dusted my old planner from when I was a chief. So you can tell this is some Navy submarine stuff because you got the tape on there to kind of keep the border together. But I have been much better at planning and just thinking these things out. And when I thought about this topic, the actual title was completely different. When I first started, it was like modern women want the top 10% men, but most don't qualify. And I don't want to put it there. I want to go to that term high value men, which was coined by the late, great Kevin Samuels. Whatever you think about Kevin Samuels, you cannot deny that man's impact in the last few years, even since he's been gone, right? There's been a void felt by not having the Godfather around. But he talked about high-value men all the time. And even though Kevin Samuels still advocated for regular men, a lot of the stuff that he was talking about was about high-value men. And why was he talking about high-value men? He was talking about high-value men because a lot of the times, modern women was coming up on his channel and they were talking about that they desired this type of dude. They are looking for guys making a certain amount of money, typically over 6 figures. And the realization is he had to tell them that high value men isn't just about how much money a man makes, right? High value men in Kevin Samuels' definition were men that not only had the money, but they had the money. They were making the money for a certain amount of time. They had a certain social network in which that they could tap into. They were looked at by their peers in high regards, right? So these were the different types of things that Kevin Samuels talked about with high value men. I personally do not like the term because I think that term high value man shouldn't just, I'm not taking away from what he was saying. I'm saying that when you talk about a high value man, are we talking about somebody who's in the upper social echelon of this society? Right? And obviously that's what Kevin Samuels meant because he said also take out stars and take out entertainers. Are you a high value man at that point? But what about the men who are working hard, make really good money, kind of contribute to the community? Wouldn't a guy who's doing well for himself, but also is say a basketball or a football coach, right? He's making good money, but he dedicates his time to the community, right? He puts in extra work and effort to do other things to help bring up the youth, or or maybe he's a motivational speaker or whatever, right? Do these things not make a person high value, right? Because high value men with money, they talk to a select group of people. But what about the men that are out there getting it, that are actually making a difference in the lives of the community, their families, the people around them? So I don't really like that, right? I never really, just like I don't like saying red pill, blue pill. I don't like the term passport, bro. I don't like none of these terms, right? Because terms get co-opted. And when they get co-opted, there's a chance to make the message bad. So today, we're talking about women. We're talking about women desiring these type of guys. Now, the first video clip that I'm going to play, and I will get to shout outs when we start getting people into the comments, but I'm going to play this first clip to get this thing started. Now, this is just going to talk about how women's standards have increased, right? This is what we hear all the time. Women getting the bag, women doing it, right? Men ain't living up to these standards, this, that, and the third. The first clip is going to kind of go into that a little bit. So without further ado, hold up. Let me push back on this. And I know I said I wasn't going to stop it that much, but I got to push back on this a little bit. When we look at dating from a dating app standpoint, what we're seeing is that, or what we know about dating apps is that of the dating apps, only 1/3 of the people on dating apps are women, especially if we talk about the more popular Tinders and stuff like that. 2/3, 66% of men are on dating, or 66% of the people on the dating apps are men. So to say that men can just replace women, what's happening is only a select few men are actually able to replace these women, or actually to kind of go through their harem of women. The majority of men right now are kind of staying to themselves. They aren't dating. They're taking their time. They're working on themselves, whatever, right? Or they've just given up, right? They just don't have the viable options, because modern women today aren't looking at these type of dudes. So to just say that women are replaceable, I think the reverse is true, right? Women have all these options on a dating app, and they don't feel like they have a lot of options, right? Most of the time on these dating apps, you're talking most women are only swiping on the top 20, 15% of dudes, the top 15, 10% of dudes in terms of looks, right? That's the ones who getting all the play on these dating apps, right? So for her to say that women are replaceable, I mean, like, I'm not saying that's not happening, but it's only happening with a select few people. Actually, men have become more replaceable to the modern woman, right? So let's get back to this clip. Yeah, we're not filtering ourselves. Mm, not in all cases. Now, listen, this is something that we got to be real about, gents. This is something that we really got to talk about. We got to be real about attraction now, okay? I think that she's made some points, and I'm not saying that she's necessarily wrong, right? If you can look at her argument and say, well, she's not totally wrong. I will say that what we're seeing is women conflating, or because of their inflated value, what they believe they deserve in a man is a lot higher, right? So you hear women saying, oh, women have raised their standards and this, that, and the third. And so because of their inflated sense of value, which I believe comes from, the access and the advent of social media, them being able to get so many likes, so much attention from guys, right? That I think that has inflated their value. And because of this inflated value, who gets pushed out of the market? It's regular dudes. Regular dudes now aren't looked at the same way as before. Before, you could be an average guy and you could be, work a hard worker, work at a 9 to 5, doing the best you can, you know what I mean? Willing to support, your woman or a woman. And that used to be enough. If you were a hard worker and you had that I'm gonna go push through. But now women are looking for men who are out there, who are the super earners, who are the quote unquote high value men. And a lot of women think because their inflated sense of value, they deserve a quote unquote high value man. And that has changed the way dating and relationships go today. And now, so what is that? Where does that leave the regular guy? Well, like I said, a lot of dudes are feeling some type of way about that. It's like, oh, you're not better than me, because of this, that, and the third. You're not better than me. And so now we have this beef between men and women today. And I think that the way society is pushing, right? Everything is pushing for women to be independent. Everything is pushing and has been for decades now, pushing for women to do their own thing. It's telling women you don't need a man. That doesn't serve men and it doesn't serve women. It actually serves the government, right? So this is something that we have to look at and we have to consider, all right? I'm going to prep the next video, right? And the next videos that I'm going to show you guys is that this is what men are seeing from women today. This was what men see from seemingly regular women. This is the attitudes and the behaviors in these next two video clips that men are seeing from women today. Let's check it out. I'm gonna let me get this thing prepped up. All right. Yeah. See, right here, man, this is the way that young women think nowadays. This is the mindset right here that I don't care. Like, I'm doing this. I think she said she a CNA, And then you have a dude who, maybe a bank teller, or, maybe he's, a low level finance guy, works with a company, a business, whatever, still working 9 to 5 hours, not quite at the $100,000 mark, but he's making good money for himself. And that's not good enough. She said, I need a dude pushing weight. So this is a 22-year-old. Think about this. How at 22, when a man, a guy her age, 22, 23, 24, right, within her high school range, 25 years old, right, that dude is still trying to figure out who he is. So how in the world is a 22-year-old woman already thinking that far ahead? Or how is a 22-year-old woman thinking that she deserves at this point in time a dude that's pushing quote unquote weight? Let's continue. Wait. So he brought up the fact that, hey, you looking for a scammer or a drug dealer? And she like, yeah, I want that. In one of my last videos, right, the one where I talk about how black love is broken and all this, there was a bunch of, let me put myself back up on the screen. There was a bunch of high school girls when they were asked the question, would you date a fat guy or would you date a abusive guy? And these young girls in high school would talk about, oh, I don't date fat dudes. I would rather date an abusive guy. And all three of them abusive. Like, these are young girls choosing to pick the most toxic men amongst us just because of their perception. You would rather a guy beat your head than a date maybe a good dude. Maybe he's a little fatter. Maybe he can lose that weight, right? Now, he should lose that weight. I agree. But you're going to choose an abusive guy over a fat guy? Come on now. Come on. This is the way our young girls are thinking nowadays, man. It's disgusting. All right, so that was the end of that one. Let me bring myself back up on the screen real quick. So I am trying to show you guys that this is what men are seeing. This is what the average guy has to deal with and contend with. Women who would rather the most toxic guys amongst us, but yet and still when they get those guys, they want those toxic dudes to be loyal, to be faithful, right? They're like, yo, I don't want you to talk to nobody else. I know you toxic. I know you are a bad dude, but yet and still I want you to give up your toxic ways so that you can just give me money. How is a normal dude supposed to contend with that? He cannot. He cannot contend with a woman who has the mindset, who has the mindset like this. Hold up. I'm trying to set up the next clip. There we go. All right. So I'm going to play one more. Yeah. Listen, let me do a shout out real quick. I normally do my shout outs, but shout out to my friend Lucy from Brick Girls Go Stateside. Go check out her channel, Brick Girls. They do excellent work, right? Talking about the differences between their experience being British women and being here and living in America and the different cultural differences. They have an excellent channel. We have been, I've been doing this YouTube thing for about 3 years. I think they've been doing it for about 3 years or more too. And so we've been coming along together. Go check out their channel. I know you'll love it. And then Lucy says, oh, wow, that's shocking that this woman would choose to deal with a player or a scammer. Absolutely, it's shocking. And it's infuriating to a lot of men. George Elder, thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate you. They don't bring Jack to the table. Absolutely, they don't. They don't. But yet and still, they don't bring anything to the table. But you have to, again, be the high earner, high tier dude, right? You have to be this super dude, right? Shout out to the Superman tat right there, baby. You got to be super dude. And they just want you to spend the bag on them. They only care about money. How is a regular guy supposed to contend with that? He cannot. Before I get started, Lucy says, thank you for the lovely shout out. No, I'll shout out anybody who come through, especially my other YouTubers and stuff like that. Of course, iron sharpens iron. And thank you for being one of my long closest friends here. So let's get to this next one. I felt like I had to ease it on you. I felt like I had to ease it on you. Because she knew she saw, because this dude, shout out to this brother, shout out at Landon's Way. I think that's the name of his channel, unless he's changed the name of it. And, he does these things where he rents these nice exotic cars. He tries to talk to women. He go looking just kind of average. And then what he does from there is once he walks away, these women turn around. They want to get into the car now. They think he got the bag. So now they want to talk to him. So he's been doing this for a while. I hate this for his channel because now he's locked into making exactly these type of videos because he's wanting to do more. But these videos are eye-opening because you wouldn't believe how many women turn around. See, they think he a scrub, he a bum, whatever like that. He dusty. But soon as he walk, him and his partner, they have another person that does it with him. But soon as they walk to the nice car, then these women turn around and want to talk to him. And then they show their true intentions. Hey, I need you to feed my kids. See, there's an agenda. You got to be careful, gents, who you talk to, because there is an agenda. Hold up. I got to turn my notifications on. There we go. It's getting loud over here. Getting loud. All right? So this is what men have to contend with. Let me finish the clip. You see that, yo? You see that? So how does a regular guy have a chance when this is the mindset of modern women today? See, some women think that I'm talking something extreme when I say when I bring up these subjects. But this is what the average guy has to deal with. He can't believe that a woman is acting in good faith. And so a lot of men have checked out of this process because they see this. They hear it happening all the time. They see women going with the worst of us in society, talking to the dudes that they shouldn't be talking to. And then you see on social media, you see on TikTok, you see on Instagram, you see on these different reels and stuff, you see these women putting themselves out there like gold diggers or 304s. It don't even matter, man. It don't even matter. They'd be willing to bust it open for that dude if he was willing to give her some money. What is that but a pro? What is that but a pro? But women won't, oh, no, that's just a woman getting hers. Really? Really? Because as far as I know, that's still illegal in most states. Just saying. Just saying. How can normal guys, and you have average women thinking that they qualify for high value men? So with that mindset, it's like, again, I go back to how is it that your normal 9-to-5 guy is supposed to compete? So there was a viral video that went out. Maybe you guys have seen this on social media or whatever, YouTube, whatever. But there was an argument being made about dating a bus driver. He not good enough. He don't make enough money, or this, that, and the third. Hell, I got a friend who lives in the Seattle area. She's a bus driver. She makes $100,000 a year, over $100,000 a year as a bus driver. Oh yeah. Some of these cities pay really good money for bus drivers. But in the eyes of modern women, they don't want to deal with a dude with a regular 9 to 5. Let me shout out to my brother O from Speak Spanish Now TV. He said, "What's good, my guy? You know how I do. You know how we do over here on this channel." Matter of fact, if you are looking, let me leave that up on the screen. If you are looking to travel to these other countries, especially the Spanish-speaking countries, then you need to learn Spanish. It is going to change the way that it's going to change your whole experience. Let's put it that way. When I lived in Mexico this time last year, right? I was living in Mexico. The best thing I did was take time to learn Spanish. If you want to learn Spanish, the best place to go is Speak Spanish Now, because Brother O is going to make it easy. He's going to make it fun. He's going to make it interactive, especially on his live streams. And I promise you that you're going to get something from it. If you're serious about it and you're willing to put in the time and dedication, this is the channel you want to check out. Thank you, O, for being here. I appreciate you. Shout out to Jay's Randomness channel. He said, "What's up, Brother Sean C?" Man, you know how I do. We here for another week. We up here breaking this subject down, and I am so interested in what you guys think about all this. Brother O says, "No doubt, just wrapped up a live class over my channel and ran over here right after." I thank you so much for that, man. Again, go after this one. Go check out Speak Spanish Now and go check out that live stream, and you'll get the interactive class right there to help you learn Spanish the way you need to. Thank you for being here. Jay, thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you guys, okay? So I'm going to bring up this next one because this is the debate that we've seen on social media within the last couple weeks, right? In a different on a different channel, but you guys will get it when you see it. Sorry, let's start over. It is a problem. Yes. Yeah. So right there, this is a woman who's on, has a podcast or, whatever, has a show, whatever. And she talked to Ayanla, and the question came up, would you date a bus driver? This has been the question. And notice that she said, if he owns the bus. See, it's all of these women thinking that, look, I need a man who owns some stuff, who's obviously hypergamy tells women that they want to look at guys who have what they have or higher. Preferably, women want men to have about 30% higher than they do in income, in things. And this is the standard that now has been pushed to women. And this is not just a few women. There's a lot of women. If you go out and you just talk to women, right, like you see this stuff. And especially depends on the area. They got women in certain areas of this country who don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, yet and still they want a high value man. They want a 6-figure dude. They feel they deserve it. They feel they deserve it without having done anything, without having been the type of woman they need to be for that man. Even if they were able to talk to high value men, They don't even qualify for that man in terms of what they do. Modern women want to sit around and spend the guy's money, but they don't want to help him make the money. You see what I'm saying? The bus driver in that example where Ayala was talking about, she said if he loves driving the bus, he's a good man. He's good to his family. He loves his mother. These are qualities that women used to look for in men. We saw the very first clip where it talked about women's standards are higher. And what are their standards now? Their standards is all based upon monetary things, material things. Now, I know personally for a fact, after losing everything in Hurricane Katrina, after losing half of my crap in divorces, right, and having to rebuild myself back up to where I'm at, I can tell you that the most important quality, ladies, if you're watching this, the most important quality of a man is his, I lost the word. The most important quality is his ambition. That's it, okay? Is his ambition. He doesn't have to be wanting to be a CEO, but that man should be a hard worker and he should want to be able to do more and advance more for his family. If he loves his family and he wants better for them, he's going to do better for them. But that's not enough. They want a man to already be established, and so they could just walk in on what he had to work through and build it. Because make no mistake, any man who is a six-figure man, a high-value man, it's a lot of hours that dude puts in. It's a lot of time he puts in. That dude is gone a lot of the time, right? When I was making six figures, I wasn't home. I wasn't, right? I just wasn't home. I was on call too. I would go home. I remember one time for my birthday, I'm getting ready to have dinner with my family, and I get a call. Hey, yo, you got to come in. There's a situation. Guess what? I didn't go out for my birthday dinner. I had to go in for that situation. That's not what they want, man. It's not good enough. What's up? You said you can't hear anything? I went to college with Ebony. So I'm going to play the next clip. I'm sorry if y'all didn't hear it. I don't know. Y'all should be able to hear that clip. I'm going to do something real quick. I am going to exit this out. Well, if y'all didn't hear that screen, that probably makes a lot of sense. Let me redo this. Okay. Let me start this one again, just in case. Tell me if you hear it now.
If he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date.
Know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date?
If he owns the bus. If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date.
All right. So listen, I'm going to bring myself back up on the screen. I'm afraid that maybe the earlier clips didn't get played. So I'm going to play just one of the earlier clips I played just so we can give context. We can give context to what I've been talking about. And I apologize for that. Maybe I think there was a mistake or an error in the sound when I had to switch the sound. So I'm going to bring the next screen back up. I'm going to play the clip all the way through. But my point was in this earlier video that maybe didn't have sound was that the woman in the clip is indicative of modern women today, only wanting what you can give them, even though they don't qualify for it, even though they don't deserve it. They feel they deserve it, but they really don't because they've done nothing to earn it. Check this out. Look at the entitlement in this next video.
Yes. I got 2 kids and I ain't even got the money to fund all this stuff, so I'm just trying to see, like, can you help me out a little bit?
What you mean?
I need some money.
You just told me that we could put our incomes together. What you talking about?
Oh, I didn't tell you that I only got a little bit of money. A little bit.
But what you bringing up your kids for?
Because you got a lot of money, and we can use your money for my money, and we can feed them kids.
That sound like they daddy job.
That's
right?
crazy.
Daddy, Laura's you my girl. If that was your true intention, you should have said that from jump. Am I saying something wrong?
No, you're right. Just felt like I had to ease it on.
Where their daddy at?
Don't worry about what they did.
You thought that you was about to do that?
Yeah, I did. I'm sitting in your car. My time ain't free.
It seemed like to me like you know, if I'm being honest.
I need some money.
I'm not the dude for that. I'm not about to take care of your kids. I'm not about to be putting up startup money for your business.
It don't hurt to ask. The worst you can say is no.
It's not happening. You can get out. You have a nice.
All right, listen. That is outrageous, right? Is that not outrageous? So she said, my time ain't free. But if you are in the car with a high value man or, quote unquote high value man or, whatever, he's obviously doing this, he's doing a prank, right? That high value man, you think his time is free? See, modern women don't respect the time that men have either. Yet and still, the first thing, she's not the only one that says this. I've put out thousands of clips on this channel. And of those thousands of clips, women always talk about their time not free. But yet and still, when it comes to talking to a man of means or a man that's got some stuff going on for himself, is that dude's time free? You see what I'm saying? So they bring absolutely nothing to the table, but yet they're quick to judge. Now, in this next clip that I'm going to play, I have this, it's going to be the same woman for 2 clips straight, and she's going to tell you about her dealings with, quote unquote, a high value dude. Now, the first dude, I think, was just running game on her, but we're going to play that one anyway, okay?
Let's talk.
Let me start this from the beginning. Let's get to it.
Let's talk about how to let go of a man who dumped you, ghosted you, or just plain did you dirty. Story time. When I was in my 20s, I dated a guy for a month and a half. Let's call him Chad, and he was absolutely perfect. Chad was good looking, he was a gentleman, had a pretty powerful job in media, and most of all, he seemed to really like me.
So, again, it's funny how women will, you look that much more attractive when when you got a great job, right? One that she can see you potentially making 6 figures, quote unquote, becoming a man of high value. You get play at that point.
Like really, really like me, because after our first date, Chad spent approximately all day, every day texting me, to the point where I was unsure whether his pretty powerful job in media even existed. Because how do you get anything done when you're texting some 20-something girl you met off of a dating app every 10 minutes? Of course, my bad biddies, I ate it up, because it felt good to be wanted, and it felt even better to be wanted by somebody I wanted. And so
oh, did you hear that part, gents? Let me run that back. Listen to this.
Texting some 20-something girl you met off of a dating app every 10 minutes. Of course, my bad biddies, I ate it up, because it felt good to be wanted, and it felt even better to be wanted by somebody I wanted.
It felt better to be wanted by somebody I wanted. This is also happening in dating and relationships today, right? So the thing is, it's like, that's why you have 80% of the women going for 20% of the men. They want to be wanted by those dudes. And then when they get them, they don't want those dudes to talk to anybody else. Yet and still, you can see the character flaws and deficiencies, the red flags, and yet they still think this is a flaw that hasn't changed through time, but of women. Women think they can change a man, but I digress.
And so I texted him back every 10 minutes too. And I was convinced that even though I had known Chad for basically no time at all, that I was going to marry him and we were going to live happily ever after. But here's the thing, Chad didn't love me.
That's
he love
delusional.
bombed me. And I'm so freaking old that when all this happened, the term love bomb didn't even really exist. So imagine my confusion when Chad texted me all day, every day from January 1st to February 14th. And on that fateful 14th day of February, I realized that despite the fact that I was convinced that Chad and I were going to live happily ever after, I did not receive a single text from him on February 14th. And so I did what any other bad biddy would do. I called that homeboy out and I said, Chad, what's going on? You text me all day, every day until Valentine's Day, and I'm not supposed to know what that means? And I can't quite remember exactly what Chad said to me that night because it was so freaking long ago, but the subtext of it was, I'm sorry, Anna, I really like you, but I just didn't want to text you on Valentine's Day because I'm not ready for a commitment and I didn't want you to think you were my girlfriend. But if you're willing to be my non-girlfriend so I can have my cake and eat it too, I can continue to text you all day, every day. And despite the fact that I once thought I was going to marry Chad and we were going to live happily ever after, I also knew I didn't want to be somebody's non-girlfriend. That what Chad was essentially saying was that I was good enough to keep around as an option, but not as the only option.
All right. The rest of the stuff, she got some blah, blah, blah going on. But I want to highlight something that she talked about in that clip. I want to highlight something. First of all, what kind of quote unquote high value dude can text you every day, 10 minutes, every 10 minutes, every day, all day? That's not a dude that's on his purpose. I talk about being on your purpose all the time. A guy who's working all the time just really don't have time just to be texting all the time, right? He's going to disappear for a little bit. He got work to do, but this dude was doing it up until the point he was trying to take advantage of this girl or this woman when she was younger, right? And I question whether he really was a high value dude or even had a good job in the first place, just like she said. So I think he was running game on her, right? That's what I believe. But when women get with these high value dudes, let's say he wasn't lying about his job, right? Let's say he wasn't lying. If he wasn't lying about that, then this is what modern women have to come up against, that these dudes have options. And so they want these men who have options, and not to say those men should be going around and sleeping with a bunch of women. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying these dudes have options. So to delusionally think that you're going to change these men into being the men that you want that's going to, be about the bag is delusional. It's another one of these delusional things that we see with modern women today. Now I'm going to bring up this next clip. This is her talking about, now this dude, I kind of feel actually was more of a high value dude that actually did have a good job. But you have to listen between the lines and see the delusion of how she thought when she was younger, right? She thought she was going to have this happily ever after with these dudes.
Let's talk about how I needed to be dumped by the man I loved in order to become the woman I deserved. Story time. Once upon a time, I dated a guy, let's call him Chad, and he was absolutely perfect. Chad was good looking, had a great job, and really seemed to care about me because he was the one that would tell me that I had the potential to make every year better than my last.
So notice there's a common denominator. These dudes look a certain way. These dudes have a certain type of job. And it's not to say that this woman shouldn't have standards. I'm not telling women not to have standards on the dudes they talk to. I'm just saying there's a pattern, right? And that's why it's hard for average guys to be able to break in, because these women have a thought in their head of the type of dude that they want. And the thing is, it's probably not you. It's probably not me. You know what I mean? If you don't fall within certain demographics, certain looks, certain things, right? But I digress.
And weren't we just the real life Bonnie and Clyde, Sandy and Danny, Rose and Jack, except both of us got on that piece of freaking wood. And I thought maybe if I tried hard enough, I would do something with my career that would make him proud to be my boyfriend, because at the time I was a complete mess, trying my best to be less of a mess. And then guess what? I actually started to become less of a mess because I found a job I liked and was good at, and when I closed my first big deal, I texted Chad to tell him the news. And he responded by saying congrats, and immediately followed up with a LinkedIn article of an interview he had done. It wasn't long after that I realized that Chad only wanted me to make every year better than my last, as long as my year wasn't better than his year. Biddies, any man who needs to respond to your success with a story of his own success is a man that wants to keep you small so he can feel bigger. The unfortunate truth is that not everyone, and sometimes not even your boyfriend, wants to see you win in life, because some see life as a zero-sum game where you winning in your life automatically means them losing in theirs.
Now look, she's going to go into that. I'm going to bring it back up on the screen here. Listen, the point that I brought up this is, even with these quote unquote high value men, you're talking about men who also have their own sense of insecurities. They have their own agenda. They have their own way that they move. So women will have this fantasy in their head about guys that they talk to, and then they project that onto to everybody, right? So you could be a regular guy who's hardworking, who would treat her correctly, but you're not good enough because you don't fall within that fantasy. And then you have these high, quote unquote, high value men that they have, and they project their fantasies about them and their life together onto those men, notwithstanding that bad people come in all packages, right? It can come in a regular guy, it can come in a high value guy, it can come in a broke guy, it can come in an extremely rich guy, right? But character doesn't seem to be a prerequisite for modern women today. And that's sad, right? Okay. So I'm going to bring up this next clip. And this woman is going to speak on the stuff that we talked about the regular guy, the blue collar worker, the hardworking man, the dude that's out there getting it, right? The dude that, loves his mom, willing to be a good man to his family, right? This woman is going to speak to that and the delusions of the modern woman today.
Where do we do that at? Only in our culture we do this foolery. See, women from other cultures, they will get a blue collar worker. They will build a dynasty with this blue collar worker and love him and take care of him and be a good wife. Only in our culture we think we're supposed to be dating millionaires,
right?
Billionaires. Mommy, you don't qualify. Yeah, you heard me. You don't qualify. I don't care what kind of education you got. I don't care how much you balling in money. I don't care. Baby, you don't qualify.
Right.
Because you don't know how to talk to no man. No billionaire, no millionaire gonna take your foolery. You hear me? What you gonna do is go sit down and get you a dog. Just go get you a dog. You don't need nothing else. Go get you a dog. I'm done.
Right? So she is absolutely correct. You have a lot of women that want dudes that are making six figures, $200,000, $300,000. But there's a woman, you got 40-year-old women with 4 kids wanting dudes making, $250,000 a year. Where does that happen? In other countries, these women just want a man that is going to love them. They do want a man to support them, but they want a man that they can trust, that is going to be there for the home, that they can rely upon. And that those men can come in all sizes and shapes. They want their own man. And they are willing to work with that dude and build with that dude to get there. And in these cases, these women aren't willing to build with this man. Now, the Asian woman that was in the previous clip, when she started doing better, that dude had a woman who was willing to work with him. But when she started doing too well, he didn't like it. Again, high value men have flaws too. But women don't care about that because all it's about is the bag. All they care about is getting that bag. So what can we say for that? All right. I got the last clip of the evening right quick. Now I'm using this as an example because they're going to bring up high value man to this woman. And she's going to talk about some real stuff about how she approaches her dude. And this is something that a lot of women can learn from. Okay.
I've never dated a man. What do they call them? The top tier. What are they? High value.
High value men.
I don't know who the fuck came up with that shit.
Kevin Samuels.
Oh, rest in peace. My bad. That type of shit just don't. High value. Half these hoes can't even read, and they want a nigga that can go bottom the moon, bottom the star. Like the internet has fucked people up. People don't have morals. They don't have values. And bitches think that just because a nigga got a bag and they got a fat ass, that go together. It don't. Do your bag match his? Can y'all build something together? So I've never been the type of person, and I was raised to look at a person's heart. I need a nigga with potential, not promises, just potential. Because I can get you where the fuck you need to be. I'm a boss in real life. So if a nigga don't got it, I can get him where he need to be where he got it. When he matched my fly.
So, and that's the thing. I brought up that very last clip to show that women used to support men. Women used to be willing to be there and build with a man. Something that doesn't get said about a good woman is a good woman you have a man who's doing a certain amount, but with a good woman, that man will stretch his potential even higher because of that good woman. But see, women who really want a good dude will work with a guy who is showing the traits of potential, who is showing that he has some ambition, that he is willing to work for his woman. Women used to value that. And because of the internet, because of all this stuff, right, women think that they deserve higher tier men. But as was stated before, most of them do not qualify. And that's just the God's honest truth. So listen, gents, this is what I want to say to you. This is why it's important to continue to work on yourself. I always talk about this on the channel about having purpose, because you have to still, as a man, regardless whether you have a woman or not, you have to be willing to work on yourself. You have to be willing to build. You have to be working on something higher than yourself, because regardless whether you have a woman in your life or not, whether women are messing with you or not, you are doing this because for us men, working hard and doing what we need to do to get to where we need to be at, working on our purpose, is how we establish value within ourselves. You don't have to be a high value man to get there, but you should be working on your finances. You should be working on your physique. You should be working on your networking. You should be working on your skills. You should be trying to make yourself a dog, man. You should be going out there and you should be grinding. You should be hitting it hard, bro. And you do that not for a woman. You do that because of you. And if you have put in that time, then you're going to build character. And the character is what's going to allow you to weed out the women who aren't there for good reasons. You have to, as a man, be able to walk away from the poker table when the cards aren't falling your way. But too many dudes get themselves too deep in with some of these women and wonder why they got issues, wonder why they got problems. And that becomes a problem for you. And this is why a lot of dudes don't want to get married anymore, because they don't see the value in modern women today. Modern women today who aren't talking about building with you, who women rarely talk about being loved and somebody that's going to care for them. And then they wonder why they come out with the outcomes that they get all the time. Right? And that's just real talk right there. So let me know what you think, right? Let me get to the question of the day. Question of the day. Have modern women really stepped up their game, or have they bought into a lie that's going to keep them single? Why do you think this, right? Why do you think one or the other? And put that down in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. I will try to get to as many questions or answers as I can in the comments there. So let me know. Have modern women really stepped up their game, or have they bought into a lie? Let me tell you that I think that in some respects, women have stepped up their game. I know women who are out there, they're getting it. Like I got one of my friends of 30 years. She has 2 businesses that she's running. I have another friend who's took over a business from, my friend was a dancer, whatever, like a real dancer, ballet, all that stuff, right? And she wound up taking over the business from her mentor, who passed away, rest in peace, whatever, to Miss Carolyn there. But she took over that. I got one of my boys. He basically got his own business. He got multiple plots of land throughout New Orleans and stuff like that. I have friends that got businesses. I got friends that are on their grind, right? I got friends that are trying to build something bigger than themselves. And it's great to have that friend network, because it means that the people that are in my life are doing big things. It pushes me to continue to work hard, to build this channel up, to do things with this channel and to use my platform and able to help men, but also to be able to build out this thing so that it is bigger, it is better, and it is also a blessing to others. And so I challenge you today that if you are not on that mindset, that you do it, not because you have to fulfill some societal expectation that you have to have money, that you have to have the bag. You do it for you because as a man, you have to build value. As far as women, I'm not saying that you have to date men that are of lower standards or qualities. You have to be able to test that, right? You have to be able to see that in the man. The problem is, again, women think that they can change men. That's one issue. And the other thing is they're looking for the wrong thing. They're looking for the wrong things in the wrong guys. And that's a problem. And we're going to continue to see these type of issues in dating relationships until that changes. I'm about to go through the comments real quick and shout out everybody that came through. Shout out to my brother O at Speak Spanish Now. If you want to learn Spanish, make sure you go check him out. Also, shout out to my brother, my boy Jay from Jay's Rambling channel, right? Thank you. Yes, we almost at 10K subscribers. If you are new to the channel, hit that like button and consider subscribing. We do this weekly live stream. We do this live stream weekly on Wednesdays every week, and we talk about these issues where you basically this is for my gents, right? This time is for me and the gents to be able to talk through that. I would love to have you a part of that, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you, Jay, for being here. Shout out to Brick Girls Go Stateside. Go check out their channel. Again, longtime friends of mine. They have a lovely channel, right? And I know you're going to enjoy it. Thank you for being here. George Elder, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you so much, okay? So, yes, this live stream, I probably messed up earlier because I didn't have the sound where I needed it to be, so that's on me. But it doesn't change the fact that this topic is still pertinent. Gents need to realize what is going on out there. Do not let these women's high expectations take you off of your purpose and goal. Do not let needing a woman or wanting a woman take you off your purpose and goal. And don't let these bad women out here make you think that there's not good women out there. When you set your standards in your bar because you've worked hard, right, then yes, you're going to have certain expectations. But a lot of guys are taking themselves out of the dating pool because they just don't want to deal with it. Instead of going out there and at least building your skill up, right? I understand that you may not want to talk to these modern women, but you need to go out there and you need to be able to build that skill up to be able to go and talk to people, to accept and take rejection. I'm not saying we talk too rude, but you got to be able to take rejection. What do you think is going to happen when you're in business? People are going to tell you no. You might get a whole bunch, you might get 99 no's, but that one yes might change your life, right? So don't find yourself in that type of scenario. Lucy says, congrats on nearly 10K subscribers. Lucy, I can only tell you that it is absolutely bonkers to me that putting in, like I talk about hard work all the time, putting in the hard work on this channel, being more organized. Again, I got my planner out and everything. I've been planning my weeks out, planning the way I put out content, and just doing that and being more deliberate about it has caused me to have a spike in my viewership and having recent success on a video and getting subscribers to come to the channel. So I appreciate all of you guys for being here today. And so we'll be back next week. I will have a brand new video out tomorrow that I hope you like. I might try to put out 2 videos tomorrow. And I might put out 2 tomorrow because I already got 1 ready to go. I just got to make a thumbnail for it and to be ready. And then I already had a video planned for tomorrow. So tomorrow might be a 2-video day. I hope you guys enjoy it. I have some great topics coming up tomorrow. And again, thank you all for being here tonight. I hope you guys have a great rest of the evening. Hope you're getting over hump day. And until next time, live your best life.